Hello, everyone. This is Steve Gillen coming to you from my back porch today on Sunday. I would like to take an opportunity on Sundays perhaps to dialogue with you about some things other than just exercise. Today's going to be about health in general and about how do we get motivated and have action to do things. I think in this day and time with the virus and all of us at our different stages of the virus, most of us I think would be called the stage of wanting to get over it stage. How do we stay motivated? How do we do things? And I guess the number one word I would use right now is movement is key. Just move. I don't care how far you move or where you move to, but just movement is key. We've all been kind of sitting down a lot and cooped up, and now's the time to get outside or do things that you can do. The good news is we think we may be in the first wave one of places that are going to open. We hope, and if we are in that first wave, we're already getting ready for you for when that day comes. So we can't wait, and I know you can't wait either for those of you that are members. So this is for those that are members or not members or anything. I just want to share a few things. First, in case you don't know, when I'm out of town a lot and working outside my job of running the club with Steph, I do contract work for BMW. And with BMW, I do leadership training. Most of it's designed for managers and general managers that are in the dealerships. And this little piece I'm going to do with you today is just about leadership and where you fall in this particular motivator segment that we're getting ready to do. And I just want you to think about it from the scope of health only today. This applies, by the way, to jobs and everything else that motivates people. Remember, motivation is the thing that drives you to create action. So if we talk about motivators, you can see I have it divided in two sides. And the first side I want to discuss is external. And you can see external motivators, things that make all of us do things and create action, is things like paycheck. Money, obviously, is one. Compliments. In other words, some of us live for those compliments of somebody telling us you're doing a great job or you look good in the world of health. You know, your spouse starts noticing that you look good. That's definitely a compliment that we like to see and like to hear. Time off. A lot of people today are motivated by time off. Winning contests and awards. You know, some of us are on the external side, we are motivated by something that we achieve. You know, we win a ribbon, we win an award, we do a 5K, we do a marathon to get that medal or whatever it is. And if you'll notice, what's happening on the external side is external motivators are things that people have to give us. We cannot get them without someone giving them to us, all right? So as you see these, you'll notice things I must receive from someone else. So whether it's awards, compliments, time off, it's somebody providing those to us. Status. Some of us are externally motivated by status. We get a certain job. We are externally motivated by getting the next job to the next level because it brings more status along with it. And let's face it, it motivates some of us more than others. If you'll notice the next thing down, mandate, orders, directives from authority. So anytime that we receive an external, and you can maybe not call it a motivator, but sometimes it is, to do something that's outside our comfort zone, or you need to do this for your job, that is an external motivator. It'll get you to do something. Along this line, you can also get a directive from an authority. Let's say in health, your doctor says you need to lose 10 pounds, or you need to get your blood pressure down, or you're borderline type 2 diabetic. You better get on the stick and do something. So that can be that. Last, we'll come to it. We have family, and then we have health at the bottom. Now remember, family can be an external motivator. You know, someone in your family asks you to do something, or they encourage you, or your kids kind of get on you about something. They can be an external motivator. All right. Notice once again, external motivators are the things that you must receive from someone else to get. All right. Now let's talk about the internal side on the motivator list. Internal motivators are things that you have yourself. You got them somewhere, sometimes from parents, sometimes from peers, sometimes from other people that became mentors for you in your job or in your life or early in life, whatever it may be. And we all got our internal motivators from different sources. Some of them we think we were born with them and they're in our DNA. So as you can see on the internal side, I have sense of pride, sense of accomplishment, work ethic. Some of us are just born with a work ethic. We're going to work really hard. Self-drive, responsibility. In other words, these things you do not receive from someone else. They are internal and part of your DNA, part of your makeup. Future family memories. We'll talk more about this one in just a moment. Competitive spirit. On this side, on the external side, it was things that you get to make you competitive, you know, whether it's awards or something. On this side, on the competitive spirit, is some of you have that competitive drive, and there doesn't have to be an award attached to it at all. You just have that drive. That's what I'm talking about when I say competitive spirit. And last but not least, it's health. We'll talk about health on the internal side in just a moment. So let me set that up. A great example is I know certain people that they live for the external side. The problem with external motivators is this: they come and go. You know, you can get them sometimes from your supervisor or your boss, but if you don't get them, does your performance suffer? And do you start basically taking off even while you're still working? And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. The external side is very important. And there's lots of books on leadership on how to externally motivate people. I get that, all right? But on the internal side, if you'll notice, these are things, like I said, that come with you. So if you look on this side, we're talking about things like, for instance, sense of accomplishment. Rocky 1 was always my favorite movie. And in Rocky 1, his sense of accomplishment, what he wanted to do early in the movie, he said, all I want to do is go the distance. And that's what Rocky said in the Rocky voice. I just want to go the distance. That was his sense of accomplishment. It wasn't whether to win or lose. He just wanted to go the distance. All of us have some of these things on the internal side that drives us. What's funny about this, with those that we love sometimes, their internal motivators can drive us crazy if we're not as internally motivated as they are in certain areas. So when we leave you today, I'm going to ask you, some of you, that if you see my video and you can give me the things that are internally motivate you. Now, by the way, sometimes these things help, but let's be honest, when you're internally motivated by these things, whether it's responsibility, or notice I put future family memories. People will say, I want to be around for my kids. You'll hear parents say that a lot. I want to be around for my kids, or I want to be around for my grandkids. That is actually an internal motivator, I think, than more an external, because what you're wanting is you want to be around so those memories are yours. When you go to your daughter's wedding, or the first grandchild, or your son's college graduation, those are your internal memories that nobody can take away. And you'll enjoy them to the level that you'll enjoy them. Nobody can impact them, right? It's almost like somebody said, you can never let a significant other take your joy away because they never gave it to you in the first place. So think about the internal side. And what I want you to think about is this. When we get back to health world, in other words, the clubs are back open. And by the way, don't wait for then. It starts today. Is what are you doing on the internal motivated side to keep you internally motivated? There's not somebody around telling you have to do it, right? Many of you cannot see your doctors for things like this anymore because they're all working on the virus or other things. What is internally motivating you so that health is a priority? But it's not somebody complimenting you, and it's not somebody giving you money, and there's no contest to win. This day and time, there's a lot of people doing pretty well on the health side that have some of these internal motivators. And I could name members of our club easily right like that because we see them. They wanted equipment right away. They're doing things right away because they had these internal things. It wasn't about somebody telling them they had to. And by the way, for those of you all, I had one of my health coordinators one time tell me, you wouldn't believe, Steve, how many people went through things similar to you, whether it was bypass surgery or a heart transplant, for goodness sakes, and they go back to their old health ways. In other words, they start eating whatever they want, they start smoking again, they start, whatever it is, that's what's the problem with the external side. They go away after a while, right? That somebody being on you, telling you have to do this will go away. The family doesn't bother you anymore because they know they're not going to change you. The real change and the real motivation to create action is on the internal side. So as we wrap up this video today and I send it to you, what I want you to do is just send me a note with your name on it as in the video and tell me what is your internal motivator. Because to me, to be successful, it comes from this side of the board. So good luck. Have a great day out there. And for goodness sakes, stay healthy.